Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Z2X. I'm joined here again by my co-host.
Mom.
Yes.
I'm the X.
Yeah,
Gen X.
you've been upgraded to the title of co-host.
Co-host. Oh, thanks, honey. I appreciate it.
You're
So
welcome.
today we're gonna do what? Some updates on some of the legal
This
cases
that
that we
we
said we'd kind of
that we were
check in on.
following. Yeah, and then we're going
Yeah.
to be covering the a famous actor and musician too. That some of you
Yep,
guys might know
yep.
about.
That he was just accused. All these people accused of. Anyway, so I'll start with the P Diddy one.
Yeah,
So
Sean P Diddy Combs.
Sean P. Diddy Combs. So last week, I don't even know what week it was, 9, something like that. Has it been that long? No, it's not been that many
Not
weeks, maybe 4 weeks? 4 weeks?
yeah.
Um,
Like 9 weeks, that's like
Brianna,
over 2.5 months.
I know, it should have been done by then, because I think it's only supposed to go 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Anyway, her name was Bana Bongalon. Um, so she was a friend of Cassie's, and she also she was kind of like Cassie's indirectly drug dealer. I think she's also a singer.
Hmm.
So she had on stand said that P. Diddy had accused her of doing something, or he'd barged into her house and accused her of something. She didn't know. She's like, I don't know what he was accusing me. He was on something. He was flipping out. And she said that he had put her upside down. This is regarding he wanted a mistrial, I should say that. So it's regarding this testimony. And that he had hung her upside down on like 16 stories in New York City.
Yeah.
And then he said, "What?" And they're like, "What's the date? What's the date? What's the date?" And she's like, "I don't know, around such and such." She gave a date, but she in the beginning kept saying, around here, around here. Like, what's the date? What's the date? And then the defense said, P. Diddy's side said that, oh, he was in LA, or no, he was in New York. She was in LA, excuse me, opposite.
Yeah.
That he was in New York, that he was staying in a hotel, that Cassie was there, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, well, it could be a different time. I'm just saying this is the date I went to the chiropractor, and here's the photos. So P. Diddy, his team showed that he was in New York. Like, here's the receipts for the hotel. He was going to do a show or something like that.
I mean, people don't realize, but like, no matter where you travel or what you do, there's a pretty paper
there's going to be a
trail.
footprint, yeah, and so a digital footprint. And although there was no pictures or anything of him um, in New York that time, but anyway, so then his team called for a mistrial, and they were supposed to discuss it today, but the judge brought all the council members back into the chamber.
Hmm.
And then when they came back, he just said, proceed with your next witness. And there was some affidavit that said, I think they're going to take her testimony out. Although his team was saying that the government should never even, prosecutors should never even had that. They should have known that it was hearsay, that she was a liar. That's mischaracterization of his personality, which I was like, dude, we know you're violent. We've seen it on tapes, right?
I've seen videos of
Yeah, we
Diddy
know you
Combs
are. And
beating
all
the
these
life out of people.
Yeah, all the women. And
Yeah.
anyway, and so now the one who's on the case is called, she's Jane Doe. And
So
this is
unnamed,
the weird one.
yeah.
But I think I know who she is. I think she's Daphne, I think is what it, Joy. I think it's 50 Cent's baby mama, the baby mama of 50 Cent's son.
Oh,
So
wow.
the timelines, so they were, she was 35 years old when they first started the relationships in 2021,
Hmm.
and, or 2022, something like that. And she's 38, 39 right now. So it adds up. And 50 Cent keeps saying that she was with him. And no, so P. Diddy is taking care of her, $10,000 a month. But she is his sex slave. Like, she says that all the time too. It's basically the same thing as Cassie. Same exact thing, but grosser sex stuff, if you can believe it. I don't know if I could say
So
that on
sort of like
YouTube.
the if Are we talking like gross, like Dubai porta potty, or what?
Like, you know how he liked the junk and the icks of
Yeah.
the edges of others on him, like that, but like more people, and he wouldn't let her use condoms.
Yeah.
And then he would do stuff in his fingers and mouths, and she even grossed out. She was even grossed out by it that he did that. Ugh. I just, you know what? He's a gross human being. He's just the most disgusting human.
You're telling me that a guy that does this is gross? I wouldn't have believed it.
I know.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, and she had, I know, right? And he actually made her sign a love contract, quote unquote.
That is not binded by law. I'm just saying.
No, of course not. But in it, he basically said he'd give her the money, and she, she'd be his girl. But mind you, during this whole time that he was with her, he actually fathered another baby with this other chick, and he was actually with this other singer that's on his label. They actually dated too. I mean, women are dumb. Like, I don't understand how they're with him, but I think that he has some kind of charisma, and she even said you can't say no to him.
Well, the most evil people usually have charisma. It's something that you don't really realize. Like, why would these people ever do that? And then you like listen to these people speak, and you're like, wow, I understand these people. It's like, without any context of what they've done, are really likable people. They are naturally very likable.
They asked why she was with him, and she said that everybody was celebrating him. You know what I mean? And that's the other girlfriend that's not on the stand, an ex-girlfriend. She broke up with him when all this stuff came out, and he had a baby with another chick. It's like, dude, oh my god. But she said everybody celebrates him, and so you think maybe it's just you. And that's what this girl, the Jane Doe, aka Daphne Joy, I think is, she was saying that everybody celebrated him, and until she heard Cassie's testimony, then she all of a sudden realized that he'd been gaslighting her for 3 years. Like, not until she heard that another woman was going through this, the mental and physical abuse, making her do these sexual acts that she didn't want to. And there's plenty of documents of her saying that she didn't want to. But then they would do this, I love you, baby, I'm sorry I talked to you like that. Because
the classic manipulation tactic.
Yeah, he did that to her, and she would go, message him back and say, oh, I love you too, what do you want to do, blah blah blah. Anyway, so he obviously, back to the mistrial, it's not going to be mistrialed. I don't know what the judge is doing, because the judge is like, nope, just keep going. But I think he might take that one out. He did put a something
subpoena
something in the court documents that I can't read yet, because sometimes it's hard to get in there and read it. I tried to look at that inner city
it's
dude
so much
from
legal
X.
jargon. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. It's a lot of legal jargon. In my opinion, I think he might just have her testimony of that cut out. Because she did say quite a few times, I'm not sure.
It's conjecture, is what they'll call it.
And they tried to paint her as a drug addict and all this stuff, that she doesn't know anything, she doesn't remember anything, blah 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 blah. So maybe they just might take her whole testimony out, which would be sad, because I think it's like 2 or 3 days, but which is sad for the jury, is what I'm thinking. Anyway, the jurors today saw images and text messages and heard, or yesterday and today, and some of the jurors were visibly disgusted, like visibly showed. And the judge yelled at P. Diddy Friday, I think it was Friday, that he kept looking at the jurors and nodding his head and shaking his head and mouthing things like yeah or no, and which is against the laws, because that's like intimidation to the jury.
You're not supposed to even recognize the jury, basically.
I know, right? And so the judge really went at him and said, if you do that again, you're out of here, and you will not be able to sit in this room, and I will do contempt or something like that. Like, he was like, you're not going to come back in this court.
Contempt of court, where basically it's those people that start like going bananas and shit, and they like mess with stuff.
Yeah, and so the judge reprimanded him big time, and he's like, you don't do that. You don't look at them. You don't react to them. I don't want you paying any attention to the jurors. Like, I can't believe he caught on.
I mean, because that's a big thing. Well, because there's 1,000 cameras on him. I bet you he got tipped off by someone, like, Like, because I bet you they're monitoring his exact behavior because he's known to do shit like this. That's just like, hey.
Well, I'm gonna guess the jurors probably said something to the bailiffs, because the jurors will tell the bailiffs, and the bailiffs go to the judge and tell them what's going on. Like, they have conversations back and forth with the judge, and so I'm gonna guess that the jurors felt very uncomfortable, about it. So yeah, so those are the two things. The judge reprimanded Diddy and told him to knock it off and stop intimidating the juror, which it is intimidation. And his lawyers have told him not to do that, because that's the law when you go in there, and they give him that when they go to court. They tell them, okay, you can't do this. These are the way you behave in court. Yeah. And then again, they're not going to do a mistrial. So even though his people, I think they've called twice now for a mistrial, the judge has dismissed it. And so that's what that's done. So the other one, oh my God, the internet is going berserk on this one.
So that's it for P. Diddy right there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Good. All right. Good to know. Also, by the way, just wanted to say one last thing on P. Diddy. Did you hear about his relationship with his mother, by the way? So creepy. P. Diddy.
I wouldn't doubt it. I told you that he likes his girlfriends to have their fingernails painted exactly like his mother's.
Also, I saw that it basically came out that his mother would literally like make out with him, basically. Like,
no, sir.
Yeah, like actual, like straight up, like that, like to kiss him. Yeah.
I can't believe that. That's probably hearsay. But you know what?
I don't doubt. I'm not gonna lie though. His mother, from what I've heard, is also a fucked up person. I do not doubt that.
Well, I was just gonna say, okay, if you were that fucked up sexually like P. Diddy, I would blame myself. Like, what the fuck did I do? Pardon my French. What did I do wrong with my son that he behaves this way?
I mean, these all people come from Hollywood and stuff, and with Hollywood, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I would be like. I mean, don't you think that I would be like, you need to get counseling. You need to go get some help, because that's not right behavior. That's not good behavior. You don't treat people like this. You don't talk to people like that. But I think that a lot of, like you just said, Hollywood, they have a God complex.
Yeah.
I that's just my personal opinion. I think they have a God complex. But yeah, that's just gross. I hope that's just a folklore, because I mean, that would just be really disgusting. But yeah, he's definitely got some Freudian shit going on there, I'd have to say. So then the next one is the big one. I was just going to say that people are like, no. The Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively case. The judge dismissed Justin Baldoni's countersuit.
Yes, I saw that. Like, in that right there, I think I was reading it. They're like, we feel vindicated, is what I saw in the article. And I'm like,
you mean Blake Lively feels vindicated? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So, sorry, some of the names I get confused on in Hollywood, but yeah, she's like, I feel vindicated, me and Ryan Reynolds, and it's like, well, yeah, like you guys, I mean, people are gonna side with you. You guys are literally like you're billionaires. Your husband's a billionaire.
No, they are billionaires. Yeah.
I feel like Bernie Sanders over here, millionaires and billionaires.
No, but I will say this. So his lawyer did say that they are going to amend the claims to present additional evidence and refine allegations and or redefine allegations. The amendment is focused specifically. They can amend, is what I'm saying. They can amend the focus to specifically claims such as breach of implied. I think it's their contract, and tortious interference, which I think tortious interference means it's intentionally interfering with the contractual, intentionally like making the contract void or dismissing it.
I think trying to intentionally navigate around the contract in a bad faith way. I think is
a nefarious way.
How do you spell it?
Yeah.
I can check real quick.
Tortid.
Tortid.
O-U-S.
O-U-S. And then.
Tortious interference.
Tortious interference is also known as intentional interference with contractual relations. Is a legal concept that arises when a third party intentionally interferes with existing contract or business between two other parties, causing harm to one party. It's a tort, meaning a civil wrong, for which a person can sue for damage.
Yeah, I think that they're saying that so, Wayfair and Sony had the contract to do the movie, right? And that she went in between their contracts and went over his head to Sony and interfered with the whole way that the movie was being made. So I think that might be what they're doing. So they have until June 23rd. His lawyer said he will do it. So they can fix, like I said, they can amend let me see what the number 4 out of the 7. So then 3 of them were completely gone. So they won't even let them redo them again. Like the judge is like, it's dismissed. You can't even do. And the lawsuit against New York Times is dismissed. And I think there's another one with they won't be able to do like a character one against her where
Character defamation, probably.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, defamation. So, and people are really upset about it because they're like, she is, and because he didn't prove that she was lying. So now it's basically he said, she said, because she doesn't have to prove that he sexually or SAH, like harassed her.
Mm-hmm.
She can just say he did, which is weird in my mind. That
should be defamation without evidence.
I find it very odd, but hopefully, and then the judge said that she can go on with her case, but again, he was saying that he had to drop his because he didn't have enough evidence, but yet hers has enough evidence, which she has zero. She's shown zero evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that she said, they've
hearsay.
Contradicted. Yeah, exactly. And or they've showed like the video where he said that she smelled so good, but when you watch the video that she didn't know was recording, that's not what he said. Oh yeah, don't worry about it, you smell fine. Anyway, and so people were very upset because they feel like you said that he and
it feels
Ryan
like
Reynolds,
nepotism. I don't know. No, that's what it felt
well,
like to
and
me.
I mean, and Ryan Reynolds even admitted that he joked about him and defamed his character in Deadpool as Nice Pool. I mean, I don't know this. I heard though some people feel like the judge has a conflict of interest because his brother is a producer and his brother's worked with Blake Lively.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's more than enough right there. Like, I can think, like, even like among friends, I feel like even like among friends, like, oh, my friend is a good friend of that guy, and they're like really
so
big.
you hear a lot of stuff. Yeah,
and you're like, I don't want to fuck with my homies stuff, basically.
I mean, hopefully a lot of people think though that even if the lawyer does write out the new lawsuits, that they'll just dismiss it again because that's kind of how Hollywood is. But then they're also saying, well, I hope Blake Lively gets her karma because nobody's going to want to work with her now. If she can do a sexual I can't say that.
You already basically said it.
I know. We'll try. You might have to bleep it out.
Well,
baby.
it should be fine. Just it's a repeat thing. Usually, how YouTube works is that you can't say within the first 5 minutes of a video, and it's a repeat use of a word is what causes issues. Okay. So you're fine.
So yeah. Anyway, so because nobody's going to want to work with her if she's like that easy to say that there's nobody grabbing her, there's nobody saying, honey, let's go to bed, there's no casting couch going on with her. I mean, it's just ridiculous, this stuff. I find it ridiculous. So maybe karma will come and get her and she will never get another job working with somebody, because who would want to work with her? I mean, she's...
The only reason I could see people is if Ryan Reynolds was able to like wiggle out deals and stuff, where it's like, ooh, and don't forget, work with my wife or I won't work with you.
Well, and look at the Taylor Swift thing. Taylor Swift, her dad said that it was her dad that said that Blake Lively was basically blackmailing her to say that she supports her and to delete all of her text messages and emails with Blake Lively, or Blake Lively was going to put out last 10 years of their text messages and emails of private conversations. Her dad told the lawyer that. And so, I mean, I find Blake Lively a disgusting human being. And Taylor Swift has never, when all these accusations that Blake Lively was basically blackmailing her, she never came out and said, no, she wasn't. She's kept zip lip. So to me, that means that Blake Lively was basically threatening to put out her personal information of 10 years of friendship to everybody if she didn't back her and say that Justin Baldoni was, SHing her. But we know it wasn't true because obviously Taylor Swift is like, I'm not going to say yes or no. And that means yes.
Well, yeah, like
If she doesn't adamantly deny it, it means yes.
silence is, I mean, among Hollywood stars,
Silence is
oftentimes silence is the only
exactly,
thing you need to hear.
exactly. And then that's going to bring us into the Jared Leto.
Jared Leto, yeah. Jared Leto's an interesting figure. Every
I'm
single
saying
time.
silence because these rumors have been going around about him for 20 years.
Yeah,
He's 53.
Jared Leto's 53. I mean,
yeah, he's my age.
He definitely doesn't act his age, and he also definitely doesn't.
Well, and now we know why.
Okay, he doesn't act his age. I mean, to be fair to him, he also doesn't look his age.
No, well,
Bro's kept in good
I wouldn't
shape.
either if I had all that money to be able to have good plastic surgery and shit.
That'd be great to have all that cash.
Right?
That dosh.
Yeah, that dosh.
That dosh, yeah.
Okay, you want to go in and tell it, or do you want me to tell it?
I can tell a little bit. So as far as that I've seen, is that
recently the accusations.
So very recently, 9 women accused Jared Leto of sexual impropriety in new report. Women recount alleged behavior, including flirting with teenagers, as, quote, predatory, terrifying, and unacceptable, end quote, from The Guardian.
Yeah.
Basically.
Also, these girls were 16 to 18 that he was coming on to.
Yeah. He came on to, yeah, but to be fair, I'm gonna be completely fair to him and play devil's advocate. Is that anyone that was under 16 that he never sexually he did not have sex with anyone under 18, as far as I'm aware from reading through the articles.
No, there was a 16-year-old that he did they did have intimate. Oh, I should have given you another article.
Because the Guardian article that you sent me was like he was weird around a 16-year-old, but like he never slept
yeah,
with.
he did. He played with himself in front of her, and also when they did end up having intimacies, I guess he was very rough with them. Like he likes his S&Ms.
Oh, no, also, Mom, that person was 18. No, that person was 18.
Oh,
I
that
just
one
checked
was
the
the
article.
18.
Yeah, that was.
Well, there
the
was
18.
9 of them. There was 9 of them, and one of them actually was 16. That it just is not on the Guardian one, but they were
I thought the one that said it was 16 is that he was just weird and he asked her age and then like.
Then another one, she was 17 and he actually tried to sexually assault her. She's a DJ and he was wearing a kilt, and she told him to get off of her now, and she even posted about it. But I will be fair, I'll play the devil's advocate on this one. These were allegations that were like in 2006, 2009,
Very
2012.
Old, yeah.
They're old. I don't understand why women wait this long, but maybe just because everything else is coming out, like the P. Diddy stuff, that maybe they feel like it would be more. But you go on about Jared Leto.
Yeah,
because you've already told you never really, you always thought he was a little weirdo.
No, he definitely was a weird guy.
He is a weird guy. Yeah.
So it's very weird because I'm not even close to a fan of him, but there's some stuff that he's done that I think is interesting. Like what's it called? He was in Lord of War, Requiem for a Dream, American Psycho, and even like the newer Blade Runner and the failure that was the Morbius films.
Yeah, it's true. And he's a method actor, so that
a method actor. So if I look at method actor, Suicide Squad, that's one of his big things he was into. He was very Jared Leto terrified Suicide Squad co-stars with a gruesome acting technique. He would basically, as far as I'm aware, he was very creepy. He acted weird, and he tried acting like the Joker, basically.
Yeah.
Which is not someone that you really want to act like.
No. And what did he give the people to stay in character? Like he would surprise them?
Yeah, he would surprise them with like, what's it called? If I look up
gifts.
Gifts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh yeah, Jared Leto. I was just trying to find the article. Jared Leto sent used condoms to his Suicide Squad co-stars.
Cast. Yeah.
And he sent Margaret Robbie a live rat for her birthday. Also, she decided to keep it.
He also sent like the one of the other guys
used condoms and sex toys.
Yeah. And dirty magazines that were sticky.
Yeah, and
Used condoms are
Yeah,
disgusting.
and
That's
also I
disgusting.
think at one point on the set he left like a dead squirrel, is from what I heard, like
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
there, where it's like, what? That is so creepy. And top comment right here, because this is an article from 9 years or not, or this is a Reddit post 9 years ago talking about it. I actually feel like isn't something the Joker would do.
No, I don't think so either. And I think that he hides behind his method acting to do gross things and to be bad to people, because I've heard this before. I've heard stories about Jared Leto liking young girls too, and that
I
he would
like
be
them young.
inappropriate. I like him young. He does. Well, look at him. I think he acts the way he does and does the things he does because I think he's probably emotionally immature. Like
Oh,
he's probably
definitely.
emotionally a
Stunted.
16, 17-year-old. And he also like started look up some cult thing that Jared Leto was doing.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Jared Leto cult. I remember hearing
Yeah,
about this.
yeah, and I think something
They even
like
had
I
a
think a
movie
lot of
about it.
those. I think there's a lot of Hollywood people who want to be cult leaders. They want to be the bow down to me, I'm your god. It's kind of weird, but I think they do. Like P Diddy, there's one. Jared Leto. These people like think they've got this god complex, and they are messed up in the
Oh
head.
yeah,
I
it was
mean,
yeah. The cult was built, wasn't it? Like looking here, because it's been forever since I heard this story. Yeah, I see some of the photos here where he's dressed up all in white, and it leads back Mars Island, Mars Island.
yeah, because he uses his band to try to
Yeah,
get young
because
girls.
30.
Because girls like bands.
Yeah, and I mean the music. Admittedly, the music is good. I like straight up today on the Spotify. I got like one of his songs played that I like. I think For the Kill, 30 Seconds to Mars,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like I like the
Uh-huh.
music. I think it's good, but it's so weird being like. You're like, this guy who made this is an absolute certified freak 7 days a week, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, he's mentally unstable, and I don't doubt that he's probably I mean the stories, the allegations that these girls are saying probably are true. I mean, I can't, I know it sounds weird that it's 20, 10, 20 years from now, but I think that a lot of people are finding it now. They're adult women, and they're like, you know what? He used his position as a actor and a musician to take advantage of me. Again, why are these girls even?
well, I was thinking the only thing that made me suspicious of anything is because I'm not gonna lie, I've heard stories of women where they're like, they show up to parties or they have fake IDs in places and then they're like
Of
actually
course, yeah,
17, and you look at these women and you're like they look 22 because they have like
yeah,
layers of makeup on.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, a private LA residence is where one of the 16-year-old was at, and I'm like, why the hell are you there? Why are you
All
there?
of, I know, right? But all of them did say that they did tell him how old they were, because he would ask them and he'd play on it too. Some of the things that he said to them, like, "Do you like? I'm a real man. Have you been with little boys? Let me show
Yeah,
you what a real
yeah,
man's,
like the little boys you hang
keep
out with don't
like."
do this, right?
Yeah, and then whip out their
His,
his
but
his
I,
membrane,
I'm
his maleness, his
the
family
one
jewels.
thing I will say, and from at least to me using some subjective conjecture, is
Yeah.
that because it's so late and just like the showing up at parties and stuff like that is like in these really adult spaces, to
Well,
me,
and
I don't doubt that he was a creep. I just doubt that he was intentionally trying to be a pedophile and going on 16
oh
year
no,
olds.
he probably is a creep and probably is a pedophile. But I'm gonna say that these girls, I was 15 and 16 and 17 going to see bands and partying behind the scenes, and I mean, I never was
And you
intimate with
were,
anybody,
yeah,
but I knew my girlfriends were. But my girlfriends were, and I never thought. I thought they know what they're doing. Those girls know what they're doing. They know what they're getting themselves into, because me too, being in those areas and being with those people, I knew, and I never did anything. I'm like, nope, don't touch me,
yeah.
don't come near me, and they didn't. And I never had anybody harass
Well,
me
because
sexually
that's
like that.
sometimes what I think is that like, I mean these
Yeah,
guys and a lot of even the band members. It's like, I mean, from what I know at least, like that archetype, it's like they'll only go for people like groupies, right? The people that are like
yeah.
infatuated with them, which there's a
And
lot.
but the other allegations are though that he was violent and hurt them physically, when they were intimate.
Yeah.
And that's not okay. You know,
That,
that is
yeah,
never okay.
that's not, that definitely is not okay. But also, it's one of those things where, again, it's so many years after that
I know.
I really want better
I
evidence,
I know.
because
I wish women would come forward when it happens, And I understand, and I don't want to ridicule women, you know, for coming forward later, because it's probably really hard, especially in those scenes that they probably tell them, nobody's going to believe you. Look at me, look at you. Who are you? So maybe they feel intimidated by that, but, and that's sad. And maybe now they're adult, like I said, they're adults, and they're like, and that's why there's no statutory against sexual assault.
yeah,
When you're
time
underage,
time
there's
period.
no time for, yeah,
Actually, just
because
period. There's no time for him. Actually, fun fact.
yeah, because yeah, well, it's because, like I said, that women get freaked out and they don't know what to do, or they feel intimidated, or they said, I'm going to, and that person's, I mean, look at, if someone, say Jared Leto was very aggressive with a young girl, 17, and they had intimacy, and then she's like crying, or he hurt her, and she's like, I'm going to tell people, on his, you know, think of him in his 30s or 40s saying, honey, nobody's going to listen to you. Who's going to believe that I'm sleeping with you? And you know what? A 17-year-old would believe that.
I believe it.
So, yeah. So a 17-year-old would go, yeah, you're right. Who is going to believe me? And so I can see both sides. I wish women were stronger about this, and were like, hey, this happened and I don't like it. But then there's so many false allegations.
There's
at the
so
same
many
time.
false allegations. There's actually more false allegations than there are true, and that's what I sometimes feel like there should be a limit on the time, because it would at least put a little bit of pressure, like, hey, you know, say something now or forever hold your peace, right? Like, you
Used
have
to be like that. Yeah, it used to be where they had a statute of limitations, but I don't know when it stopped.
I believe it's because
how.
a judge, I think it was a female judge even, that at one point in the late 90s, that was like, or early 90s, sorry, that was like, no, you can do it anytime, which I feel like is a bad choice, because
Yeah, I understand her thing, because again,
I understand the thought
17-year-old
process, but I don't think it's smart in practice.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 10 years, maybe that there should be some
It should
statute
be
of limitations, but
well, statute of limitations for crime. Let's see the average.
for S assault, I can't say it.
Well, as assault is infinite.
Oh, okay, it is,
Yeah,
no matter what.
yeah, anytime. Yeah, it
Huh.
literally is. That's the whole issue, I think, is that it's anytime. However, if I look at yeah.
But murder is anytime also, Dallin. Murder, you can get, there's no statute of limitations on murder.
Yeah, there's no statute. I feel like, I'm sorry, but murder. Let's see, a kidnapping, assault, statute of limitations, assault with intent or conspiracy to murder, 10 years.
Oh, conspiracy though.
Yeah, conspiracy.
I said murder.
Yeah,
Because we're saying S assault.
Actual murder.
We're saying
Actual murder, though, it's because, I mean, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
murder is a far worse crime. I mean, you literally are killing.
Well, of
You are
course.
killing someone.
Yeah.
And I understand. You're like, someone's gotta pay for that, right? Someone's gotta, like, and also the tricky part with murder is that, you know, the victim isn't that a key part. The victim is not alive anymore with murder, right? Like, they are. That's a big part of it. They are dead. There's no one to come out about the incident of
Okay,
murder.
I just looked it up and it said only when they're under 18 or turning 18, within 4 years of the injured person's leaving the dependency of the abuser, or within 4 years of discovering the injury and/or so statute of limitations for S assault. There is civil. They can do civil, but there's not criminal. So civil cases, there's no time frame, but actual.
However,
criminal,
yeah, there
is time frames depending on the state.
Depending on the state. However, second degree and third degree don't have any statute of limitations. However, they're accepted
but
for different.
that's for under 18. That's for under 18. So, and so that children, because you know that's rightly so. If you're a child, that is rightly so, because
Yeah.
little children can't say anything, and that should be no time frame for that. Because
No.
sometimes they will be like, I can't say anything because, you know, it was a family member, until they're way out of the family and way adults, and then okay,
way
I
out
feel
of
like
their
I can
lives,
say it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I see that, but yeah, I think it just depends on the state, and so there is limitations, but not for like a civil suit,
But for as
but
far
for criminal,
as
for
far as I'm
criminal.
aware, though, with how I feel like though a lot of laws, I always say this is that laws are for some reason made in the like most stupid ways where they're like, you're like, oh,
Well, because they,
these things are true, but then they design the laws and then people abuse them. Basically, they're like
well,
they
honey, that's
loophole
no
them.
matter what, they're going to try to do the loopholes because that's what lawyers do. Lawyers are the ones who do it, and people do it too.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think that it just the statute of limitations clearly they're that maybe they're doing civil. I don't know what the whole thing is. This just came out with him, Jared Leto, so we'll definitely keep update on that one too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me, truthfully.
I mean, he had
I mean, there's been rumors about him being with liking young girls for a very, very long time. I think actually, what's the guy that did the director producer for Guardians of the Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy producer.
Yeah.
The Guardians of the
Um,
Galaxy, Kevin Feige.
no, the other guy, Garden. Maybe he's the director. Who's the director? Gunn.
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Yeah, he he tweeted a couple times, like in 2016, about Jared Leto.
Thought he like there was
R'ing,
some drama.
R'ing, yeah, of assaulting young girls. He's done it more than once. Accused him of that.
Yeah, James
and
Gunn has
said,
always been volatile towards him.
yeah, and he's like, because he says he's disgusting because he likes young girls, and I don't doubt it. And
Yeah.
now this is coming out. That's why I'm saying that and it is disgusting because if a man that's 53 years old is going after an 18-year-old, something's not right.
Yeah.
Something is wrong
Well,
in the brain.
especially in that way. Like, I understand, what's it called? What's his name? That actor that always dumps people after they turn 25.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio, yeah.
But
Stuff,
he dates him at 20, 21, and then dumps him at 25. He doesn't have long. What did somebody say? I'm test driving for you, dating or something like that. Test driving dating.
but I also think the difference between them is that, like, people know what they're getting into with Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's still a gentleman from what I'm aware of, right? It's the
yeah,
expectations.
I've never
and...
heard. Yeah, I've never heard any kind of assault or weird behavior.
No,
from him.
it's like expected. You're like, this is what you're kind of getting into here. This is what you should understand. And also, he treats them well while he's dating them. And I think that's the most important part, is that are they treated well? And not gonna lie, looking at Jared Leto, I don't think I could assure that.
He looks like a freak in the sheets.
Yeah.
He's a freak in the bed, freak in the sheets, because he's a freak all around.
Yeah,
he's like the P Diddy. He's the white boy P Diddy. It sounds like.
Yeah,
like,
he definitely.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Honestly, probably. God, what's that other guy? Not Weinstein. He's not as bad as Weinstein, but.
No, he definitely would use his leverage over women. Weinstein did, and then and assault them, and make sure they didn't have jobs or anything. Like P Diddy kind of does to that's what I think he is doing to his girls too. P Diddy.
Yeah.
Definitely using his money and status, and like with Cassie, he had a contract with her. Like, he held her life in his hands. But Jared Leto, he definitely is using his but that's kind of a groupie thing, with a band, but an actor also. But I think that he uses it as a prop to get away with the shit that he does.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like, oh, I'm just crazy because I'm just method acting. No, that's called just crazy. I think method actors are weird anyway. Something's wrong with them.
The most you should do, I think some method acting is fine, but you gotta draw a line. Like, I forgot, there was some running movie, I forgot who, let me look it up real quick. Was it The Running Man?
I don't
know. But it was this movie where it was all about this guy and this whole like marathon and stuff. But the actor that played the main character, every single day, no matter what, he would run to the set. He wouldn't take a car or anything. He would run there.
To feel the vibe.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
to feel
that's
the
a good
vibe,
method acting.
like his
Yeah.
character did, so we could kind of feel that through.
Well, and look at Halle Berry and gosh, this other chick. I don't remember why I can't remember her name. They went into boxing because they were in boxing movies. They
yeah,
became
there's
boxers.
certain levels. I think here's the key thing: do not method act if your character is like is like Judge Holden or something. Like they're just a wretched person. Just like don't do that. Don't
No,
be the Joker.
don't.
Don't be like one of these horrific people.
Well, I just think that he, like you said, that one actor said that I don't think that's what the Joker would have done. He's just using it as an excuse to be bad
Yeah.
and to be gross and just. I mean, used condoms. What is wrong
Seriously.
with you?
I'm surprised
That's
he wasn't kicked off the
disgusting.
set, honestly, with behavior like that.
Well, I know, and I think that's why that what's his name Gunn was like,
James Gunn.
you know, why don't you guys don't do this? Don't let him get away with this crap. I
But-
mean, he doesn't really bring in much money anymore. So what's the point?
I mean,
you know, he's
after
not like a A-lister.
After Morbius, oh my god, Morbius lost so much money, and people were even able to trick Sony into running that movie again in the theaters.
Oh.
Lost even more money. They're like, guys, we were all busy that week. Please rerun it.
Sony has got so many problems. I don't even know where to start. But
yeah.
I don't know who's in charge of that, but they are definitely on the wrong path and so far away from normal people. All right. I think that's all, though. That's what we just wanted to touch base with, some litigations that are happening in the world with these the Hollywood
Yeah,
insider.
litigations and libel.
Yep,
All right.
litigations and libel.
Well-
That's what's happening.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
You're out of there, huh, Dylan? Are you getting?
Well, no, hey, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, we said everything that we were gonna say. And
Yep, we're out.
yeah, peace.
Peace. Bye.